were inside of your grandmother's womb too. So there's just such a deep connection, and we'll learn so much more about ourselves when we really tap in to that connection. So yeah, I think it's really important, and I guess it's exactly right on time that you're in this room, Ajay, to hear that, to receive that.
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing because I'm living through that right now, and just establishing this relationship with my mom is like it opens up a lot for me because soon I will be a mom, and a lot of things that and I notice, like, especially in my generation right now, a lot of us like to blame, like, oh, this and that on our moms, and not just taking an initiative that they didn't have the tools that we have right now as far as like this technology, because it has definitely has an empowerment on how we are now in our generation, and I'm grateful that I'm at this point where I can see things and have an understanding. No, my mom wasn't a perfect mom. I mean, no, my mom wasn't a perfect mom. I'll call her perfect because she did everything that she can do. And instead of like looking at the things she didn't do and that she couldn't do physically, mentally, and emotionally, I kind of work on myself and heal my own childhood traumas off of the understanding that I have now. If you guys understand what I mean.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, I love that you said that inner standing, that standing in yourself and the truth of who you are, and being able to take initiative to be able to instigate change within yourself. I totally understand and hear you, and I think you're brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I think that compassion, extending compassion to our mothers, our grandmothers, that they may not have had the tools that we now have access to in this global society that we're living in. There are so many tools at our fingertips that we can learn about and employ and see if they work for us or not. They didn't have that lightning speed access that we have to healing. So can we be more compassionate towards them and their struggle that they went through to get to where they are today? And if they are still living, they have succeeded on so many levels. So yeah, thank you for that. And Winnie, I appreciate you on the stage. I'm sorry I didn't mean to cut the person off. I'm going to close my mic, but I just wanted to welcome Winnie to the stage.
Thank you. I'm just here to be listening.
I love the journey that you're on. I think at some point you kind of, when the child becomes an adult, then that adult child has to then differentiate between mommy and the woman who raised me, and what that woman might have gone through, or whatever were the building blocks that made her. And I think most people at some point do this. For me, it was like in my early 30s, where you let go all of the. Again, it depends on your relationship with your mother. It's not across the board, obviously, but you let go of the things that. Like, oh, I wish she would have done this, or I hated that she did this, or, and, we hold them chips, and that's real because we're the children, right? And those are the chips that kind of built us, But when I started to see my mother as, a woman who left home at 17 because she was the youngest of four, and she was a girl, nobody was putting any energy into her. So she went she moved from Atlantic City to Harlem, right after high school, and and then she, all the adventures that she had, and how she, ex-boyfriend tried to assault her, and how she had to, fake like she wanted it until she got to, the knife that was hiding underneath her pillow, and then scared. Like all of it, I'm like, as now the adult child hearing these stories and seeing my mom as a young woman, one, I'm saying, damn, could I have the strength to do that if that happened to me? One. Two, okay, so that explains a lot. So, grandma did this, and I see you did the same thing with me. Okay, boom. And literally when I'm able to intellectually wrap my head around her moving from her own girlhood to womanhood and making the decisions that she did, based on, again, with the tools she had, I was able to drop a lot of shit. I ain't gonna front. I was able to drop, some chips I had on my shoulder. Sometimes I need jerk back to them because, they kind of in you. But I always know that, okay, I see why she made the decision she did. And ultimately, I have this respect that this woman raised me by herself. And the decision she had to make and how scared she was. Being in New York, raising this child in the Bronx when it was burning, and I'm getting emotional because I'm respecting her as a woman, not the mama thing and the woulda, coulda, shoulda, but she did this, blah, 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 but like, you did that shit under really hard circumstances and nobody was helping you. Your siblings didn't help you, your parents didn't help you, my father didn't help you, and how scary that must have been. How freaking scary that must have been, and so yeah, it's we gotta if we're able to, we gotta love on them as the best we can. At the very least, thank them for just doing the job, even if they drop the ball and is a little sloppy with it, and think about all the times we dropped the ball in our own lives as young women, as women, period. And yeah, anyway, I just I'm kind of sending just some love out to my mom. But but it's realness, you know what I mean? It's just really real, and yeah, much love to the Black mothers who just had to do. And what you were saying about they didn't have the tools, they're gonna say the same thing about us. 30 years down the road, this kid's like, well, they didn't have that, pop a pill and get your head right. They didn't have that in the 2021s, they didn't. They had to go to therapists, oh my God, they had to sit down with people, for, months on end. They didn't take the red pill to get their head right and fix the brain synapses or whatever, so it's all relative.
It's all relative, but it is all built upon, too, like